Imagination Video Books presents Rosalee the Seeker, a sensory processing disorder story. Written and illustrated by Nicole Filippone. Narrated by Esther Geiger. Audio description narrated by Dr. Joel Snyder.
A smiling brown-haired girl performs a handstand in a pink leotard and white tights.
Rosalee was a little girl with a big imagination. Every day, she would wake up and run straight to her coloring table. She would draw everything from princesses to monsters, but she especially loved drawing princesses.
At a desk, Rosalee sits drawing with a crayon. She gazes down at her paper with her tongue sticking out a little bit to the left.
Sometimes she would draw on the walls, too, but not on purpose.
On a wall, a drawing shows a colorful castle on a hill. Crayons lie on a carpet beneath the wall. Rosalee stands in front of the drawing and grimaces, with her hands behind her back and her feet turned in toward each other.
Rosalee also loved to experiment. She would cut paper into all sorts of interesting shapes. Then she would tape them together and turn them into some really amazing things.
At her desk, Rosalee cuts out paper heart shapes with scissors and draws happy faces on them.
Sometimes she would cut things she wasn't supposed to cut, but not on purpose.
Rosalee stands in front of a closet full of women's clothes. She wears a scarf with heart shapes and fringe cut out of the ends. On the floor, near her feet, lie scraps of fabric and her scissors.
Rosalee also loved to play with her food. She would bite her toast into shapes and turn her chicken nuggets into sculptures.
At a kitchen table, Rosalee stacks chicken nuggets in a square shape. Her macaroni scatters across the table, and a cup with spilled liquid lies on its side. Red splotches stain Rosalee's face and her dress.
Sometimes she would make a bit of a mess, but not on purpose.
Macaroni noodles lie strewn on the kitchen floor while Rosalee smiles, reaching up toward the kitchen sink.
Rosalee also loved to sing. She would sing every night. She would hum la 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 and make up words that no one had ever heard before.
On a pink bedspread, Rosalee rests on her tummy, pointing her toes upward and grinning with an open book. Above her, colorful music notes seem to appear. On the floor, pink bunny slippers lie near the foot of her bed, one of them turned on its side.
Sometimes she would sing too loudly and keep her sister up, but not on purpose.
Across from Rosalee's bed, a dark-haired girl under a blue bedspread frowns and holds a teddy bear tightly. On the floor, a pair of blue bunny slippers lie neatly beside each other.
Rosalee also loved to play on her gymnastics bar. She would jump and swing, climb and spin.
Rosalee wears a pink leotard and white tights, smiling and holding herself up above a horizontal gymnastics bar.
Sometimes she would bang into her brother or sister, but not on purpose.
On a carpet, Rosalee performs a split leap. She knocks over a frowning, brown-haired boy who sits on the floor, a toy truck falling through the air beside him.
Rosalee was a little girl with a big spirit and an even bigger heart.
Rosalee falls over backward, across from her brother.
She would do a lot of things that she didn't mean to do, and she would always try her best to apologize.
Rosalee's brother sits on the carpet, looking down. Rosalee stands in front of him with her mouth open, reaching out her hands.
Rosalee wanted to do everything on her own. She didn't need help getting dressed in the morning or brushing her teeth at night. Beside
her bed, Rosalee wears socks, a denim skirt, and a white tank top. Smiling, she pulls a sweater over her head. At a bathroom sink, Rosalee stands on a pink stool in her bunny slippers. She brushes her teeth with her left hand and holds a cup of water in her right. But she did need a little help learning where to put her body.
and how not to have so many accidents.
Under a table, Rosalee sits on the floor, rubbing her head. Beside her lies an overturned plate and scattered parts of a sandwich. Rosalee's sister hops down from her chair.
How to organize herself and her things, and how to give her body all of the sensory experiences it needed.
On a rug, Rosalee rests on her tummy, using crayons and colored pencils to draw on a paper.
When she started seeing Ms. Cat, her occupational therapist, things began to change. This playtime taught her brain to know where her body was in relation to other things, making her more aware of those around her. It also helped her be better at organizing her thoughts and herself during activities.
In a large room, Rosalee plays in a padded bin filled with colorful plastic balls. Outside the bin, several objects line the floor, including foam cubes, exercise balls, and a mini trampoline with a handbar. A smiling woman with curly hair helps Rosalee ride on a disc-shaped platform swing.
Ms. Cat also taught Rosalee's mommy and daddy some important things. She told them about sensory diets and sensory bins, about weighted blankets and body socks.
Rosalee stands, grinning and stretching out her arms, with her body zipped up inside a fabric rectangle. Rosalee's mother and father smile as they listen to Miss Cat. In speech bubbles pointing to Miss Cat, drawings show an alarm clock and a box filled with small objects.
And she gave them lots of suggestions for ways they could support Rosalee at home.
Miss Cat shows Rosalee's parents a sheet of paper labeled Sensory Diet Cheat Sheet.
7, 8, 9, 10.
At home, Rosalee bounces on a mini trampoline while she counts along with her daddy.
Rosalee is still a little girl with a big spirit and an even bigger heart. She still has accidents and still always tries her best to apologize. But now she's a little girl who knows she has SPD, who is getting all of the things her body needs, and that has made all the difference.
On a grassy lawn beneath a blue sky, Rosalee's mommy pushes Rosalee's platform swing. A speech bubble beside Rosalee's mommy shows the words, "Is this high enough, sweetheart?" Rosalee's speech bubble says, "It's perfect, Mommy."
This has been Rosalee the Seeker, a sensory processing disorder story. Written and illustrated by Nicole Philippone. Narrated by Esther Geiger. Audio description narrated by Dr. Joel Snyder. This video book was made possible by a donation from Patty Marciano. This has been a production of Imagination Video Books at imaginationvideobooks.org.